Hmm. Hi there, and welcome back to the podcast. So, today in episode 5, we are going to talk about the health habits. Or, so to say, I've actually chosen to kind of make a new series, which is called Why I Have Chosen This. So, why I have chosen to start doing something, or why I've chosen to stop something, or why I'm still doing something, and why I've never done something. Something along the lines of that. So, today we are going to talk about why I started taking care of my health and doing these health habits. So, to answer the question, why did I start? Or maybe to say, start off, where did I come from? Well, back in the day, I did not live a certainly healthy life. In the metrics that I define it now, which is of movement slash exercise, which is from diet and from sleep habits. Um, Exercise, I have always been pretty good of exercising. There were a certain point in my life in my late teens where I didn't exercise as much back in high school. But else, overall, I've been exercising a lot during my whole life. And when it comes to diet, the majority of my life has been in average diet. I would say, eating okay food and also eating sugary stuff and desserts and nuts to a point where I got obese. I've actually never been obese in my life, but although right now I might be in the best shape I've ever been in terms of the way my body looks. In terms of stamina, I do not run or do any kind of I bike back and forth from things, but not that much cardio. But back in the day, I have run a marathon, which is my biggest cardio achievement. And in terms of strength wise, I am almost at the peak of how strong I have ever been. Um, and when it comes to sleep, for the majority of my life, as long as I can remember at least, I have been sleeping pretty badly. I have always been taking half an hour to an hour about to fall asleep and or never feeling fresh in the morning and always just have a bad relationship with sleep. Not that I have, slept late or slept less. I do sleep, but I've always been like it can be better, and it's come to a point where it's okay right now. It have been better, but I know that there are some certain things that I would like to do to make it even better. But more on that later. So I have had some health issues, I would say myself, and why I decided to change them was because of the benefits that I found out that it could have on my life, and it can have benefits in two ways, which is long-term benefits and short-term benefits. And long-term benefits is how health can increase your well-being for the long term, for the rest of your life, and increase longevity or how long you live. And for the short term, I see that as how it can increase your well-being right now, how it can energize you more and make you more focused, and yeah, just overall increase in well-being. I found about those things, and I was like, okay, if they say that it is so good as it is, then I would like to try it. And of course, for the longevity benefits, I have no way of proof that, but there have been a lot of science on it that health increase longevity, and it's also just public, so there it is. And there's also, and then about the short-term benefits, which I was like, they sound pretty good. And after doing, start working more out and started eating healthier and trying to getting better sleep habits, I feel the short-term benefits. I'm not gonna lie, they're actually true what they're saying. When you sleep well, you exercise regularly, and you eat healthy, you feel better overall, more energized, and you feel like you can take not take over the world, but that you can how to say it, that you can do your day, so to say. And compared to what I felt before, when I wouldn't say I felt pretty bad, not like shit, but pretty miserable because of my poor sleep habits and my poor diet. And at the time where I didn't work out as much, I also felt very bad. And when you typically, when you don't live healthy, you live unhealthy. So you don't do the things that are good for you, but you do things that are bad for you instead, which just make it into a negative spiral. So it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Instead of, when you try to become better, then it starts getting better and better and better. You become more healthy, you do more things that are healthy for you, and you just make sure that it keeps going, and you will like, oh, I want to have more of this. Just get more stuff that is healthy, and also do better decisions instead of doing decisions that are unhealthy for you. So, that's kind of the reason why I wanted to get healthy, to get the benefits. And then I realized, okay, it get easier to become or to stay healthy when you are healthy, so to say. So it's just that shift that's actually hard. And what I did was that, coming into high school, I stopped exercising regularly, and coming back to my 20s, I started exercising regularly again, where I started working out, I started running, and I started playing football. And right now, in my mid 20s, as I said earlier, I only exercise. I work out in the gym, and I do it. I do it 6 times a week. I work out in the gym, and then I bike back and forth from the gym and other places that I'm in, because when it comes to exercise, I found out that, in truth, how much exercise we actually do is not in terms needed when it comes to overall health. Then it's actually just regular exercise. The recommendation of being active for 30 minutes, not 30 hours, 30 minutes a day is, that's enough to make you healthy in terms of exercise. So what you need to do is just take a walk, 30 minutes, maybe take a run if you want to, bike somewhere, dance for 30 minutes. That's actually all it needs to do. What's important, though, is how regular you do it. So there's a misconception that I think in, today's society, so to say, that you should do exercise for 2 to 3 times a week, and intense hours of exercise, maybe 1 to 2 hours 3 times a week. However, that's misunderstood, and that's a misconception, because what is more healthy is to spread it out. So instead of having exercise 2 to 3 times a week, then having less intensified exercise every day. That's more healthy than the 2 to 3 times a week. So, as I said, free 30 minutes a day, just go for a walk, bike around town or around in the woods in your neighborhood, or go for a run. That's basically all you need. And everything else has been tied up to losing weight. But the key factor to losing weight is in your diet, because when it comes to losing weight, or gaining weight for that matter, but most people, they want to lose weight. And what's important there is to know how many calories you consume compared to how many you burn. Because to lose weight, you have to consume less calories than what you burn. So if we take that with the exercise as well, what exercise does it that it raises the number of calories you burn every day. But if you consume more still than what you burn, if you consume more calories than what you burn, then you are not going to lose weight. So it doesn't matter how much exercise you do if you still consume more than you burn in a whole day. So exercise is actually not the key factor to losing weight. That is diet. So if we just to round up exercise, my reasoning for working out 6 days a week when it's actually not required is because I really like working out in the gym. I really like getting stronger. I feel more confident going out from the gym, and getting stronger and getting bigger. It's very good for me. And if you like it, I can really, I would say, keep doing it. And if you don't like it or haven't tried it, I would say at least give it a try and see how it works for you. But, or if it also comes down to what your goals is. If your goal is to lose weight, then do regular exercise and get in control of your diet. I will get to that in a second. And if you're trying to gain weight, muscles, then it's kind of required to go to the gym. You can put on muscle mass in different ways, but resistance training in the gym is just the easiest way to increase muscle mass. So go to the gym if you try to gain weight. So when it comes to the diet in terms of health, what a healthy diet means to me is a plant-based diet, which is supplemented with supplemented with a bit of meat and also fish, and then with some cheese. Yeah, that's basically it. And it's not a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet. It's a plant-based diet with additions of meat. And why I think that is the best overall diet for health is because of Chris Verberg. I cannot remember if he's from Deutschland or from Belgium, but one of the two. He's a doctor, and he wrote a book which is called the Hourglass Model, which is a dieting model where you have two triangles like on top of each other, like a hourglass, where in the top triangle there are all the foods. There is a, like a the diet pyramid. There's a reverse diet pyramid with all the foods that you should not eat. And in the bottom pyramid, there are all the foods in the equivalent spaces of the pyramid where it replaces the foods that you should not eat with those you should eat. So for example, in the bottom, there's beverages, where at the top, there are things like a soda, there's juice, there's that might actually be it for that model. And then at the bottom, there are beverages like tea and water. And actually, alcohol and coffee are down there as well. However, the book was written in 2012. And at that time, it was recognized that a moderate amount of alcohol was healthy. However, that has been, or research has shown that that is actually not true. back in 2023, a bigger and well-rounded study came out. And now both Chris Verberg, the World Health Organization, WHO, and Mark Manson, for that sake, have stopped drinking based on that scientific research, and also recommend that people should stop drinking because there's no health benefits to gain at all from drinking alcohol. And I have also stopped drinking alcohol, and I will get back to that in another video. But so that model has alcohol at the bottom, but that should actually be at the top. And it also have other areas, and I believe that you can Google it, the hourglass model, and see all these bases and what foods are in and what should be supplement or replaced by which. But just to have a quick understanding of it is that, beverages, drink more water and drink tea, and instead of, unhealthy sugary drinks. And then the next one is vegetables, where in the top there are things like rice, pasta, bread, and potatoes, which are foods that are very high in glucose, which, they don't seem unhealthy on the surface, but what they do is that they enhance or increase your blood sugar a lot, which is not good for you, because when your blood sugar is increased, then there are a lot of insulin going out in your body to try and stop it, and then it decreases dramatically afterwards. That is, when the extreme case of this is seen, that is usually when you eat sugary stuff, with, candy bars, cake, and stuff like that. But it also happens when you eat foods with glucose. I believe it's called glucose. I'm not entirely sure. But, the GI index shows it, where it is a scale from 0 to 100, where 100, that increases your blood sugar like a lot. And that's pure glucose almost. And at 80, I think it's something like cookies and the source of that. And at the bottom, then you have things like nuts and dark chocolate, which is about 10 to 20. Then you have fruits in around 30. And then bread starts at 40, actually. And it's not only bread, it's whole bread, rye bread. And then, light bread comes up, and then comes pasta, and then comes rice, potatoes, sugary foods, and then, pure glucose from 0 to 100. And 100 you don't want to be, and as low as possible is where you want to be. So he says that we should change, rice, pasta, potatoes, and bread out with pure vegetables and fruit and berries instead of those. And also the protein plants like lentils and chickpeas. I cannot remember the words for those. And beans as well. Eat more of those. Replace that with vegetables and greens. And then in the next one, he says you should replace, almost all meat with fish, with soy meat replacements, or just chickpeas replacements, and also with chicken and with cheese. And then there's the next box, which is the snack box. There he says, of course, there are all the snacks, sugary foods, chips, and all that unhealthy stuff. Replace that with nuts, with soy-based yogurt, and with dark chocolate. And then in the last one, there is medicine that should be replaced by clever supplements. There are a lot of supplements out on the market, and in his book, he comes up with some he called clever supplements that you could say might actually be needed, because they are not, those vitamins and minerals are not being, they're not being sufficiently met through a healthy diet. So there's needed supplements to that. Some believe that supplements are not necessary to have an overall good health. However, he believes, and I agree with it, that it's just some clever supplements can be made to make up for even what lacks in a healthy diet. Of course, you should still eat healthy, but also take the supplements to make sure you get all the vitamins and minerals that you need. So that's basically his model, and that's the diet model that I follow as much as I can. I have set it to myself not to make my life a pain in the ass. To when I'm alone, I follow this model pretty strictly, to a point where I almost only eat from the bottom pyramid of the foods that you should replace and eat the majority of the time. And when I am not alone, when I am with friends and with family, then I eat what is being served, and what is available to be eaten, just out of convenience. That it would require too much effort, and also it would require too many eyes on me to do something different, or not eating stuff which I'm like, I just do it. It doesn't matter that much to me. If I would be completely strictly, then I would do it all the time, which I just don't want to. And that's what I want to do. You can always choose what you want to do with your diet. I just think that you should choose a healthy diet and stick with it. Not to just eat it for some time, but to eat it all the time. And then there's about sleep. So, as I said, I have been sleeping pretty badly for the majority of my life, until I was like, okay, now I need to do something about my sleep because it bothers me. So I did. I researched what are the things that I can do to sleep better, and found out that in fact there are only indirect things you can do in your day to, or there's only things that you can do in your day to affect your sleep indirectly. You cannot do a certain thing and say, okay, when I do this, then I'm gonna sleep like a baby. That's just not gonna happen. But I've found these things this information on the internet, but I found out pretty recently that there's a book called Why We Sleep, and I cannot remember what his name is. His name is Matthew. It might be Matthew Walker, and I'm not sure of that. But he has made a book of Why We Sleep. He goes a lot into, the science and research behind sleeping, and talks about why we do it and why we need it. And also, as far as I know, he comes with some recommendations what to do at the end of the book, or at least in the book, to what you can do to sleep better. So some of the things you can do is to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even in weekends. That's gonna be a major benefit for your sleep, because of the day and night routine. When you have a fucked up day and night routine, you're gonna sleep like fuck and you're gonna feel like shit. So get your day and night routine fixed. And then there's also a lot of things, relaxing at the evening, meditate, reading, don't do a lot of weird stuff, don't go out for a run 10 minutes before you have to sleep, and get your pulse up so it gets winded down, so your body just gets winded down and relaxed, maybe after a stress day. And also, go off screens and have as little as light as possible around you, or about 1 or 2 hours before you sleep. That's also gonna have major effects on your sleep, especially the screen time. Go off screens 2 hours before you sleep. Have a night routine, do some other stuff, reading. Don't watch television, don't look on your phone, don't have screens around you. It's gonna affect your sleep really, really positively, I tell you. So that's what I did to fix my sleep. It did become better. Right now at the moment it's not very good, because, or it's okay. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna take it to a level where it's not good. It's actually okay. I'm just having up to a point in my life, or referring to a point in my life where I got in bed at 10 and then I woke up at 6 without an alarm clock every single day. That was like when my sleep was at its highest. Then I got on a vacation for 3 weeks, didn't have those same sleeping habits, and after that, it just wasn't the same. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to go to bed at 9 and woke up at 5 a.m., which is what I would try. It actually worked pretty well. Of course, or I didn't fall asleep at 9. I couldn't because I wasn't tired, but I woke up at 5. I woke up, I went out of bed 5 minutes after my alarm clock had rung or ring, and I'm a bit tired, not gonna lie, but it actually worked pretty fine. And I do that because I would like to have something out of my day, and I don't use the night hours as much because I don't watch television or play video games and such of that. So I'm like, I can switch, but yeah, I can switch. I would really trade an hour in the evening during or for an hour in the day. That I would really do, and that was one of the main things or main arguments for just to go to bed 1 hour earlier and wake up 1 hour earlier, to have 1 hour more during the day and have 1 hour less in the evening, because I just found myself listening to audiobooks in the evening, and I was like, should I really just listen an hour to audiobooks? There are more productive things I can do during my day than just listening to an audiobook for an hour during the evening. So I have made that switch. I am pretty excited to see how it's going to go. I think it's going to go pretty well, but we'll see. So I'm not trying to say that you should wake up at 5. If you want to, you can do it. I've only done it once. That was pretty cool. I was actually more fresh than I thought I would be. But I might get an update on how it's going. So I think, that's the 3 habits of health that I think you should incorporate in your life. Just, to wrap it up, regular exercise, 30 minutes a day of light cardio. That's the minimum requirement. Actually, yeah, just you can call it the minimum requirement of healthy exercise. And diet, there's the healthy diets, which I think is plant-based, with some meat and some fish, especially fish. That's pretty healthy. Omega-3 fats, include those in your diets. They are really healthy, from nuts and from fish. Must, and berries as well, just to have some recommendations. And for sleep, do as much as you can to affect your sleep indirectly so you sleep better. That's the recommendations that I'm going to give to you on healthy habits. That's what I do, and that's what I think you should do as well. I also work out 6 times a week. You don't have to do that. That depends on your own fitness goals. But I think I'm going to wrap it up at there. I had some book recommendations during the episode, and I don't have, there are a lot of on diets, but you can also find a lot of stuff on the internet around diets. I think Chris Verberg is a really good person to follow when it comes to dieting. When it comes to fitness, I followed a lot of when it comes to the recommendations I have on exercise, that's also from Chris Verberg. When it comes to fitness and working out in the gym, I follow Athlean X, Jeff Cavalier on YouTube, Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Ether. That's pretty much it. And that's where I've learned all my working out knowledge from. And when the sleep, the Matthew Walker, I think he's called, and also you can just Google, how can I sleep better? Then their crumb advice is pretty easy. And I think that's going to be it from this episode. I am not sure what to talk about in the next episode, I have a lot of things that I can take, but which one I'm going to take, I'm not sure. So we'll see on the next episode. And then I guess until that, wow, 30 minutes exactly. Cool. Well, see you next episode. Bye.